Yeah, that's why we're here.
In this world, cesspool of kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Piss-Drunk fraternity guy, you got my asshole, bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks and a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. Oh, I just can't understand it. Conquered divine by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, Sherlock! I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, Sherlock! Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first. You're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Screws in a pool of blood and crying. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like cats ready to go. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bone's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The fundamental conquered divine by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, so let the buddies will quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do this show every Sunday, except for last Sunday, I guess, 7 o'clock, that's 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. Support this project by going to the website, echoplexmedia.com. Click the support link at the top of the website. Make your own decisions from there. I would suggest a hat, but it's just my opinion. I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky at Plex-Dave, and I don't know, also maybe next at the March for Billionaires, the next time they do one in the city. And this is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. There's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch if you don't stop throwing your rocks. Snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. your local police. Cause they don't do nothing wrong like your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fairest judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. Cause they don't do nothing wrong, don't hate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job, don't hate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops.
All right, so we were off last week, so this is basically 2 weeks worth of news stories. I obviously had to pick and choose what we're gonna get into here this week. But we're gonna open up with her name is Aliyah Rahman. Aliyah Rahman. She is a Minneapolis resident and obviously United States citizen. She was picked up by ICE, and here is her opening statement to Congress about that.
Thank you, members, for taking time to be here today, and thank you, staff, for making this happen. My name is Aliyah Rahman, and I am a resident of South Minneapolis. I'm a Bangladeshi American, born in northern Wisconsin, and I'm a disabled person with autism and a traumatic brain injury. Not all autistic brains do this, but mine fixates on sounds, numbers, and patterns. And while what the world saw happen to me exactly 3 weeks ago today on video was a terrible violation, it is still nothing compared to the horrific practices I saw inside the Whipple Center. So I am here today with a duty to the people who have not had the privilege of coming home, and I offer this data because these practices must end now. On January 13th, on the way to my 39th appointment at Hennepin County's Traumatic Brain Injury Center, I encountered a traffic jam caused by ICE vehicles and no signs indicating how to get around it. I had not wanted to pull into a blocked, chaotic intersection, but verbally agreed to do so and rolled down my window after an agent yelled, "Move! I will break your effing window!" His first instruction. Agents on all sides of my vehicle yelled conflicting threats and instructions that I could not process while watching for pedestrians. Then the glass of the passenger side window flew across my face. I yelled, "I'm disabled," at the hands grabbing at me, and an agent said, "Too late." I felt immersed in a pattern, and I thought of Genoa Donald, an autistic black man killed by police during a traffic stop in 2021. I remembered Mr. Silverio Gonzalez, who was killed by ICE in his vehicle last year. An agent pulled a large combat knife in front of my face, which I thought was for cutting me, and later learned was used to cut off my seatbelt. Shooting pain went through my head, neck, and wrists when I hit the ground face first and people leaned on my back. I felt the pattern, and I thought of Mr. George Floyd, who was killed 4 blocks away. I was carried face down through the street by my cuffed arms and legs while yelling that I had a brain injury and was disabled. I now cannot lift my arms normally. I was never asked for ID, never told I was under arrest, never read my rights, and never charged with a crime. Approaching the Whipple Center, I saw black and brown bodies shackled together, chained together, being marched by yelling agents outdoors. I continue to hear the word bodies because that is how agents refer to us. We're bringing in a body. They're bringing in bodies, 7, 8 at a time. Where do I put them? We can't use that room. There's already a body in there. You have no reason to believe you will make it out alive if you are already being called a body. Agents repeatedly had to stop and ask how to do tasks. I received no medical screening, phone call, or access to a lawyer. I was denied a communication navigator when my speech began to slur. Agents laughed as I tried to immobilize my own neck. I asked for my cane and was told no, pulled up my arms and prodded forward in leg irons by agents laughing and saying, "Walk, you can do it, walk." Agents did not know if the facility had a wheelchair. When I was finally placed in one to be taken to interrogation, an agent taunted, "You were driving, right? So your legs do work." I pleaded for emergency medical care for over an hour after my vision had become blurry, my heart rate went through the roof, and the pain in my neck and head became unbearable. It was denied. When I became unable to speak, my cellmate pleaded for me. The last sounds I remember before I blacked out on the cell floor were my cellmate banging on the door, pleading for a medic, and a voice outside saying, "We don't want to step on ICE's toes." When I opened my eyes at Hennepin County's emergency room, I learned I was brought there to be treated for assault. The impacts of DHS detention on my physical, mental, and financial well-being and safety have been very severe, but I do not deserve more humane treatment than anyone else, U.S. citizen or not. And I am here today with a strong spirit and a duty to the many people who haven't had the privilege to tell their stories or see their loved ones come home. I am extremely distressed by the pattern that violence from law enforcement has been happening to Black and Indigenous communities for centuries, and to DHS survivors for over 20 years. We call ourselves a civilized nation, but we lack rules and accountability around what a person claiming to be law enforcement is permitted to do to another human being. I am not afraid, and I'm not afraid to keep working on this problem even after ICE is gone. Thank you for your time.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News.
Or Echoplex Media, or both. That's like chilling, right? Like a homegirl was like, she's like, "I have a traumatic brain injury." They're like, I don't care. They're like, "Here, let's slam your face on the ground." And then after all that, she said she's like autistic and has TBI. Like, that must have been very difficult to sit in front of Congress. I don't even know, man. I mean, I'm mostly neurotypical and crazy, and I would have a hard time talking to Congress, even though those people are idiots or whatever. So good for her. That really sucks that happened to her. She was being treated for an assault in the hospital, but I guess nobody was charged with her assault, which is fucked up. This shit is all fucked up. And if you think that like just because the president and like removed that one weird dude, one weird like fucking guy everybody was making fun of for being short or whatever, you think that them removing him is gonna like fucking change much in Minneapolis, you are sorely mistaken. They brought in the Tom Holman guy. Maybe the Tom Holman guy is gonna tell people, hey, keep doing the same thing you're doing, but keep a lower profile. Who fucking knows? Anyway, up next we got the Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy on, of all things, CNBC is going to blame Joe Biden for the violence in Minneapolis, and of all people, Andrew Ross Sorkin, who has never met a person in power whose dick he didn't want to suck, is going to fucking push back on this guy. It's kind of shocking.
I think it's a mind-numbing exercise that we're going through. Frankly, we shouldn't be in this situation. And we're here because of Joe Biden letting millions in and Tim Walz not willing to cooperate with
Mr. Secretary,
ICE officers.
do you think that there's any responsibility among the ICE officers, though, to be able to deal with these things in a way that does not end in tragic death? I mean, I do think that, you blamed Tim Walz, you blamed Biden, you blamed lots of people that have not shot people. You go back and look at what's happened in Minnesota over the years, even the past 2 years.
Hold on a second. No, you're talking about shooting people. I mean, you had a woman who was using her car to ram ICE vehicles as they were in a legitimate operation. Again,
well, whatever.
I mean, we have an officer who had his finger bit off.
That's fucking awesome. I don't know, man. You start fucking shoving your fucking hand in somebody's face, dude. I don't know, man. How do you putting your hands all up in people's faces?
You have officers who are trying to do their job and they're getting rammed and
rammed by who? This is all bullshit.
It's to be very, very dangerous.
But this goes
you have
to the
another
training
individual
story,
again.
Mr. Secretary, because you look at some of those videos and they've become a Rorschach test. And people look at some of those videos, including the police officer who was standing in front of the car, something that everyone has been trained in the military and police not to do, and yet they did. And the question is, should there be accountability? Should there be proper investigations? Should there be investigations that Americans can believe in? And part of what's happening here is that you have the federal government coming out
We should investigate
repeatedly.
everything.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
The president said we should investigate these, and I agree with him. But again, if you come to a protest with a 9mm firearm, that's fine, leaving the Second Amendment. But you stand on the sidewalk and you hold your sign. You take that 9mm and you start to engage with federal ICE officers.
Wait, nobody did that. Wait, what? They did? No. This sucks. Like that guy, I don't know whether or not that guy should have been strapped at the protest. That's not my fucking business, right? He had a CCW permit, like whatever. I don't think anybody there even knew he was strapped until they threw him on the ground. This is a lie.
And then you resist arrest. Listen, I don't want anyone to die, but also this becomes very, very dangerous when you start to take protesters and encourage them to interface with ICE officers who are doing their work. Again, Tim Walz, stand up, get your law enforcement to support. Is this the federal side or is it the side that should be enforcing?
Secretary Duffy, thank you.
Dude, the best we can hope for here actually is the cops not intervening on behalf of ICE. I don't know how many people are here on Blue Sky. The people on Blue Sky seem to think they can just call the local fucking pigs and that the local pigs will take care of ICE. So that's not going to happen either. But that guy's like, he was engaging the cops with a gun. No, he wasn't. The shit was like in a holster, like in his back, like in the small of his back. So it wasn't even holstered in a place where it was like easy to grab. It wasn't like on his hip like you would have like if you were draw. It was like difficult to grab. They grabbed it from his back when he was on the ground. He didn't ever touch the gun. Why are they just lying? Are they just doing this because they know that there's a group of people out there that don't care that they're, I already know the answer. There's a group of people out there. It's not as big as you would expect if you were on Twitter or Facebook groups all day, but there's like a non-insignificant segment of the US population who's just going to be like, well, I don't know. I guess Sean Duffy said he had a gun, so he had a gun or whatever. Or the president said he brandished a gun. And it's like, did you watch the video? They're like, yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, the party, they're telling me to reject the evidence of my eyes and my ears here. It's their final command, the most essential one. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, up next, we got, here's Crazy Eyes Michelle Bachmann. I don't know what the fuck she's doing back on fucking, I would call it the news, but this is something called Victory News. So, I don't know, on camera. But she's going to talk about how it should be, I don't know, there was a ICE agent denied service by the manager or owner of a gas station. It's like the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Reaction to that gas station manager turning out Greg Bovino because he worked for Immigration and Customs Enforcement?
Well, it's an act of discrimination for him to do that, and private businesses may have the right. But remember, again, he's a black man. And we think back to the 1950s during Jim Crow laws when blacks were refused service at public lunch counters.
No. Bovino isn't all white people. Just like that song, I'm Every Woman, she really wasn't, right? Greg, no, I bet there were, being as this is Minnesota, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I would guess that one or more white people did business at that gas station within like 15 minutes of this happening.
Owners. And so here we are. This is a public place where they're getting gasoline. That's a necessary item that people need to buy. And he's turning away the United States government.
What's your fuck yeah? Fuck yeah. You're like, well, they're denying white people. Bitch, shut up. There is absolutely no way that, like, there were probably within 5 minutes, there were like 2 or more white people that did business with that gas station. This is really dumb. Here's Boxwine Janine Pirro. I guess I don't know, this is all really confusing. I guess Boxwine Janine Pirro now is in favor of the strict gun laws in Washington, D.C., which I find fascinating.
And you bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's amazing how accountability works. You know, when people think that if they actually get arrested, they might have to do time and they might be taken off the street. It sort of puts a little different message into people's heads.
Could you imagine before all this happened, right? Like under Biden, could you imagine if the fucking Washington, D.C. mayor went on Fox News and said, if you come into the district with a gun, you're going to be arrested? I mean, the Washington, D.C. has very strong gun laws. I don't think there's any CCW there or open carry or whatever. I think owning a gun in Washington, D.C. is probably the hardest of anywhere in the U.S., I believe. And that's fine. Like, whatever. I'm not a strong proponent either way on like gun ownership. I think our gun laws are ridiculous. But could you imagine if a Democrat essentially went in front of like the American people and said that? Like, they'd be doing hours and hours and hours and hours and hours about it on Fox News. They'd be doing like Alex Jones would be running it on fucking loop. But now that the Trump people are trying to say that the guy that they murdered him because he had a gun. Well, now that's different. That's different. We killed a lib and he had a gun. So it was in this case, it actually was the gun's fault. God, here's Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Imagine what a fucking pain in the ass it would be if you had to go get a warrant to bust into somebody's house.
Okay. Imagine if we had to go through the process of getting a judicial warrant, an additional warrant to go and apprehend people who we know are here illegally. How much time would that take? We don't have enough judges. We don't have enough time. It would take decades probably to do that. The people who are advocating for that don't want any immigration enforcement. They do not.
Okay, so the point of the point of the law, it's I believe the Fourth Amendment about their papers. You know, you should be secure in your papers and you shouldn't be like harassed and then you should go in your house essentially without a warrant. The point is to make it more difficult for the state to come into your fucking house. That's the point. The point is that the bar, like if you're just walking down the street, the bar for you to be searched is low, probably. That sucks. If you're in your car, the bar is a little bit higher, but not much higher. Now, if you're in your home, the bar for the fucking police or whoever to come in should be pretty high, because that's what the fucking Fourth Amendment says. It should be difficult. That's what the point is. And there are judges out there who will sign just any fucking old warrant you put in front of them. Don't even get the whole fuck out of here. This lady, Michelle, her name is Michelle Tafoya. She looks familiar. I swear we've seen her before. She's running for U.S. Senate in Minnesota, and she seems lovely. Lovely. Check this out, man. If you're in Minnesota, you need to vote for whoever's running against this lady. Watch this.
Well, Michelle, it's good to see you. We just watched that clip of Kristi Noem, and she was talking about these protests being well-funded and well-organized. I want to focus on that well-funded piece. Do we know anything there? And would you, now running for U.S. Senate in the state of Minnesota, would you like to see an investigation into this?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've heard this time and time again across the country that some of these biggest, loudest, most, I guess, successful protests by their standards are funded. And
does she mean like the No Kings protest that Indivisible like organizes? She's talking about Indivisible.
Seen, the entrails of this. We see connections. Look, protest is fine when it's peaceful. I am all about the First Amendment. But when you start throwing cars into the mix, when you start throwing frozen water bottles, when you start throwing ice cubes.
Ice cubes. Oh, man. I fucking love it. It's like fucking trench warfare. Dearest Agnes, the enemy is throwing ice cubes at us. I do not know if I will survive to make it back to base camp.
Big chunks of ice at law enforcement agents. When you start to do these things that are violent and dangerous, you're making the scene dangerous for everyone, yourselves and law enforcement included. So whoever's paying for this, you see a lot of the gas masks, you see a lot of the signage that matches. I'm sure there were organic protesters as well.
Signs that match. I mean, it's cheap. Printing these signs, I know so many people that run for office or involved in union activism or whatever. It's not free, but you can get 20 signs for $100 and hand them out to people at a protest. I mean, I know that's a trip to the grocery store and shit, but you could get 100. You could probably get you could get 1,000 signs probably for $2 a piece.
And that's fine. And if you don't like the law, we have a process in the United States of how to get that fixed. But we have this crisis of leadership here in Minnesota, and I think in many other places, where our government, quote unquote, leaders are saying, get in their face, disrupt, resist. And this is just,
yes, that's what a leader does. Yes.
For a really dangerous situation for everyone. This crisis of leadership is why I'm running for United States Senate.
Do you remember when these same people, not her specifically, but I'd like to go back and see what she was saying during COVID. Do you remember when people were asked to wear a mask at the grocery store? They were ready to burn the Sprouts down in Shasta County, if anybody remembers. They were the same. They reacted in much the same way to, sir, you have to wear a mask if you're going to shop here. So that's amazing. So I don't really cover a lot of these YouTube commentators, but this came across my my feed, and I know who this is. Everybody kind of knows who Charlie is. Goes by Moist Critical, and I kind of took a little bit, I don't know everything about him or whatever, but he seems like, if you can imagine this, a YouTube commentator who talks about the state of other YouTubers who doesn't seem to have flown minors to meet him or any other sort of weird shit in the last couple of years, so far as I could tell. This is Charlie, Moist Critical. He's talking about the response to the murder of Andrew Preddy, and he's pretty right on. I'm gonna actually have to take a closer look, maybe watch some of this guy's videos or something, not on stream obviously, but see what this guy's up to.
And based on all of the video footage, all of the available evidence, this guy was not brandishing it or anything like that. Thus, he wasn't threatening anyone or about to shoot someone with it, so they had to kill him to stop him. That doesn't seem to be the case. They're now just using the fact that he had a gun as a justification to kill him. That should be extremely alarming to anyone who cares about 2A. Like, again, him having it should not be an issue. And any real, actual American, like a real patriot, should be arguing for his right to carry, because it is something that we have the right to do, and that should not be a justification for this man being killed by these agents. This point that they're trying to beat into the empty minds of a lot of people that are trying so hard to justify it is that the only people being arrested and targeted by ICE are rapists and pedophile illegal aliens, which is just not the case. There definitely have been rapists and pedophiles that have been snatched up in all of this, and those rapists and pedophiles that have been caught and taken away, that's good. They shouldn't be out there breathing the free air. Great. But that's not all that's happening here. You could also right now march into the White House and arrest everyone in the White House, and you would get a ton of rapists and pedophiles. Why isn't that happening? If the goal is getting rapists and pedophiles off of American soil, thrown in the slammer, taking them away from society, why is it only just walking through the fucking streets of Minnesota trying to do it? You would get significantly more rapists and pedophiles if you took ICE and brought them to the White House. An administration is actively covering up a massive child sex trafficking operation and letting tons of evil people get away with this, tons of clients. So if the goal is to get this kind of evil out of this country, why would you not start with what is provably a spot that has so many of them? Also, that belief of like a secret pedophile ring was a very popular one among Trump voters for the longest time. And now that it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be real, legitimate reality, they are now just ignoring it. They have been proven correct that there was a huge pedophile ring of these powerful politicians, but because some of their favorite politicians are potentially wrapped up in it, they just want to drop it and forget about it.
Oh, that's what I was saying Friday. I was like, the Q people, the fucking storm is here, but they don't like it. Right? Storm is here. They're like, uh-oh. So yeah, I don't know that much about Charlie. I haven't looked that much into him, but he seems all right. He seems like he seems, I don't know. From what I took a quick look before I put him on the docket and said nice things about him. He seems like he cares about other people and treats other people with respect and isn't trying to tear like a bunch of people down and shit. So that's good. And he's right. He's right about all of that. He's totally right about all about that. But that's like people in the chat are saying that's like the normie take, right? That is like this whole thing. That is the most normie take you could ever fucking have. And that's it. It's just a fucking normie ass take. Anyway, I called this on the docket. Always boo these people. A Wyoming Republican representative. Is it she representative? Anyway, her name is Representative Harriet Hagman. She was booed out of her own town hall by her angry constituents. And you should just always boo these people. Just always boo them.
Thank you, Representative. I'm a student here at CC. And I was here at your last town hall back in August. You mentioned Laken Riley. However, you did not mention today either of the people who were killed in Minnesota recently. Why is that?
Shot 10 times in the back.
In August, I was describing the Laken Riley Act that we had passed earlier in the year. And
that's not the question. Why haven't you?
Yes,
why
yes,
haven't
no,
you
let me
mentioned?
answer the
No.
question.
Why haven't
Let
you
me
mentioned
answer
either of the people
question.
killed in Minnesota?
Let me answer
why,
the question.
Why haven't you
That's the
answered
question.
that?
Let me answer the question. I spoke about Laken Riley because it was one of the bills that we passed. I haven't talked about what was going on in Minnesota.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that?
Why don't you tell me what you'd like me to say about it?
Why haven't you said that you condemn the violence or given condolences?
Oh, when they do this, what do you want me to say shit? It's like, I don't know. You're the one who's supposed to fucking say it. If I was telling you what to say, why am I not the fucking in the House of Representatives then? This shit they do. What do you think I should say about it? What do you want to hear from me? Either like say what you think and fucking stand tall on it, or fucking I don't know. Just like, don't be like, oh, well, what do you think I should say? What do you think I should say?
Families of the victims.
What about the secret police?
Whoa, okay.
Explain, please. That's my question.
Explain. It hasn't been the topic that we've been talking about today. What you want me to say? Here's what I will say.
What do you like? See again? What do you want me to? This is bullshit. You're a representative of these people. Like there's more of this, but it just keeps going around in circles. I did watch this before. But the thing about this is like when they go, oh, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? It's like, well, that's not my job, actually. You didn't say. I think he was saying that basically she didn't say anything about it. That she had nothing to say about it. And as her constituent, he really wished that she would have something to say about it. And what do you want me to say? Well, it's just not that young man's job to tell her what to say. If she thinks it's his job to tell her what to say, she could hire him as a fucking speechwriter. So before we move on, we got two more clips before we move on to our next horrifying subject matter. This one made me think of our good friend and colleague of ours, Justin Freakin. This is at, if I'm not mistaken here, this is at, I don't know what AEW Dynamite is, but it's in Las Vegas. It's a wrestling match. I don't know what AEW is. Does anybody here know what AEW is? It's a American Eagle Wrestling. It doesn't fucking matter. Watch this. This is great. I guess they're about to do a wrestling, but then this happens.
MJF, Brody King, AEW World Championship Eliminator match. A match that the champion wants absolutely no part of.
Now the face in the eyes of the champion.
That dude's face. That dude's face was great. He was like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? But fuck yeah, wrestling fans. So I'm getting information that guy's like in a either hardcore punk or hardcore metal band. So yeah, that guy probably doesn't like ice very much. And just so we can just something a little more fun here. So this is a bit of catharsis here. Apparently the protesters have been throwing dildos at the ICE agents, and I'd hate to be the ICE agent whose job it is to gather up the dildos.
The sheriff's department came around and started picking up the dildos.
Hell yeah. Wait, that's the sheriff's department? I don't know. I don't know. Are they used? Because some of those things are kind of expensive. Also, why not just leave them there? Why are they giving them back to them to throw at the ICE agents again?
All right, so they still have more dildos.
Oh man, that's the sheriff's department. The sheriff, you just leave them. They're not going to hurt your cars or anything. I don't know why you're throwing them back at people. It was dumb. Anyway, now it's time to move on here. We got, this happened. This is 2 weeks worth of news, everybody. So some of this is a little bit dated, but I think we all saw this. This is Ilhan Omar. While she was giving a talk somewhere, somebody came up and some kind of liquid at her. Where the liquid obviously wasn't poisonous or fucking acid or anything like that, because like she's fine. And I assumed when I first saw this that the liquid was like that there might have been like pig's blood in it or something, because they think that that's like super offensive to Muslims, that you're like, oh, I got her to touch pig's blood. But anyway, my favorite part about this is toward the end, if you could imagine. I have a favorite part of this. I bet you can imagine what my favorite part of this is.
Abolishment of the agency.
ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
So anybody, if you can't tell, my favorite part about this is once she realized what was going on, she like fucking started walking towards him and was ready to fucking punch him in the face. Like homegirl was ready to throw down. Like that was my favorite part about that. I don't know what anybody else is like. I don't know, man. It's not good. Fighting's not good, but being ready, willing, and able to defend yourself is becoming more and more important as time goes on. Unfortunately, here's a news hit from CNN afterward where they talked to Congresswoman Omar.
Representative Omar, are you okay?
I'm gonna go figure if I am, but I feel okay. I feel that it is important for people, whether they are in elected office or not, to allow these people to intimidate us, to make us not fight for our constituents and for the country we love. And as I said, I've survived war, and I'm definitely going to survive intimidation and whatever these people think they can throw at me, because I'm built that way. Thank you.
Also, I just wish she would have. I wish she would have said, "Man, I don't know. I guess that guy's lucky my security grabbed him." Because again, she was ready to she was ready to throw hands with the guy. I'm surprised that hasn't been spun as like, look at how violent the Muslims are, because of course that's probably how it would have been spun. Oh, I'm getting word that she did say that she was ready to fight that guy the next day during a town hall. Yeah, I don't have that clip. But I believe you. I believe the people in my chat tend to be more accurate than I am. So everybody, I don't know if you remember this, but there have been a lot of people were talking for a long time about how if you do property damage for a political reason, you are a terrorist. So this is if anybody remembers this, Jake Lang, he was the one who held that tried to hold like a fascist rally in downtown Minnesota and got chased out of town. Claims to have been stabbed, but there hasn't been any evidence that can't see that he was stabbed. But here is him, like they were saying. You do property damage in any kind of political protest, you are a terrorist.
President Trump, we support you. We support ICE. Our country was made for Americans, not for Somalis.
Oh man, I wish that. Did you see that? Fucking check this out. The ice cube almost just took him out. Watch.
Made for Americans, not for Somalis.
That ass had the opportunity to do the funniest fucking thing.
Pro-ICE, baby! America first, America only! We'll see you here, February 7th, Saturday, 12 noon, outside the Minnesota State Capitol.
Sir, that's a felony. He's charged. Sir, that's a felony. You can't do that. Oh man. Also, don't do any property damage during your protest. It's terrorism. That guy's such a douchebag. But like the problem is, and somebody on Blue Sky, one of the non-fucking weirdos on there, was pointing out that like, hey, this stuff is all really funny, but a lot of people thought Donald Trump was funny when he started running for office. A lot of people thought Stephen Miller was funny. A lot of people thought the men's rights movement, for example, was funny. A lot of people thought the anti-vaxxers were funny. And now look where we are. So it's just a good thing to keep in mind that just because that guy's a douchebag that almost got thrown to the ground by an ice sculpture of the letter S doesn't mean that he's not dangerous and that we shouldn't be keeping an eye on him and his associates. So everybody, did you know that it's not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein? God, man, these people they just can't take the fucking L. Just take the L.
Well, as some of the people we saw on camera at the rallies, is there any chance that any of these individuals who partied with Epstein and engaged in, relations with minors will be prosecuted? Any chance?
I'll never say no, and we will always investigate any evidence of misconduct. But as you know, it is not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein, and so as horrible as it's not a crime to email with Mr. Epstein. And some of these men may have done horrible things, and if we have evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But it's also the
no, you won't.
That the American people need to.
You're not going to prosecute Steven Pinker. Get the fuck out of here.
Understand that it isn't a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. It isn't a crime to have
Didn't look like that's all that was going on some of those photos. I mean, if the photos could speak, some of them look pretty bad.
That's right. And unfortunately, photos can't speak. And so we need witnesses and we need
Are there
evidence
videotapes that you all have? Or?
Uh-oh. Are there videotapes that you all have? Well, are there videotapes that you all have? Let's find out. Actually, the question is, what videotapes do you all have? These people are so stupid. Like, this guy's not in the fucking documents. Just fucking resign.
And unfortunately, photos can't speak. And so we need witnesses and we need
Are there
evidence
videotapes that you all have? Or
they're all released. They're all released. There were some
beyond the ones
not of any individuals, men having improper, sex or anything with victims. But there's videos. They're all released for everybody to see.
The New York Times.
But wait, no, they're saying they can't release the stuff, and there's some stuff that they can't release. This is true, right? They can't release like child sexual assault material, right? They can't. They can't release it. They can describe it. They could say we had this many instances of videos and images that we think fit the standard here. They're not gonna the fucking Lawrence Krauss and Steven Pinker and fucking like a hell of fucking elites from other elites from Harvard whose names escape me were all up in that shit. I was stunned to find out when I went and searched for Michael Shermer that he didn't fucking email any of these people. That fucking creep. But he's just lying. This is all bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. These people all were like, we're gonna take down the ring of pedophiles, and then they found a sex trafficking ring. Some of the people involved were minors. They're like, like, I know Bill Clinton's in there, but so are Steve Bannon. Oh man, some of our faves are in there. I don't know about this. This wasn't the storm that they wanted, right? Sometimes you get the storm you want, and sometimes you don't get the storm you want. This is Caitlin Collins from CNN asking Trump a question. Caitlin Collins was a big surprise because I do think she came from Tucker Carlson's rag, The Daily Caller. I think she was a contributor over The Daily Caller prior to joining CNN, and a lot of people were pretty worried about her, if I'm not mistaken. Was it The Daily Caller, or was it fucking I forget what? I think it was The Daily Caller. Anyway, people were worried about her, and she does a great job. I think she's one of the best people at CNN right now. So let's watch this though. Smile more.
Something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors who feel
you are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile in your face. You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned health care, and the bill that was just passed does not include your health care savings account. So this is a question for you, and maybe for Mr. Speaker as well.
I'm so proud of the health care savings accounts because it's going to happen.
Dude, like, I don't know why. I don't know. I guess just to deal with this guy and keep getting invited back to the fucking briefing, you got to have like a lot of patience. I don't know, man. I don't know how much like a regular person is going to like somebody talks to you like that. I don't know, man. It's fucking terrible. So, this one's just called Holy Shit. This is Joe Rogan and his guest, talking about the files, the Epstein files. This one's fucking gross, dude. This one's fucking gross. Where are the Q people? The Q people should be all over this.
I don't think that the majority or anything close to it of the women were technically, I think it was largely young, very young, barely legal, so to speak. But, and I know that there were cases of underage, but
you're very young, barely legal. They're 18 in the U.S. The age of consent is 18 years old. I know they're like, oh, it's different in different states. Yeah, but like the feds are going to come after you if you're doing anything having to do with like communication.
I think
Most of it was just
very, very young, but not like
20-year-old
not
girls,
like 13
18-year-old girls.
type thing. And then
one of them was as young as 14, as far as, and also like this also sucks too, because this was a trafficking operation. We're only 26 seconds into this. I got more. This is a trafficking operation. It's also fucking highly fucking horrible felony. It's horrible to traffic 20-year-olds. Right? Like I guess it's worse if they're 15, but you shouldn't traffic anyone. But you shouldn't be doing this to anybody.
Remember, because this is an international enterprise, and many of the clients are like, in countries that don't necessarily have the same norms about that that we do. You can very easily see some.
That's even worse.
Getting involved in that just because girls juice deals, and so I don't think that Epstein. I've not seen evidence, and in my view, you don't need any of that to understand the core part of the Epstein story that has relevance to your life today in terms of your own government and the workings of power and corporate finance and the like. But I do think that girls juice deals, and the fact that he had the coolest parties on a private island with the hottest girls is
Also
something
brought
that
in
makes
a lot of intellectuals.
Yeah, like the fucking guest list of your show, you fucking asshole. I'm surprised the fucking Weinsteins weren't all up in that shit. I bet Eric Weinstein's hella mad that he's not in the fucking in the documents. Oh, it'll that no. Just because he had Steven Pinker there to fucking chaperone or whatever doesn't make everything better.
Stimulating conversation, scientists, all these very interesting people.
Lawrence Krauss was there. Oh my god. And fucking Stephen Hawking was there. Oh, gross. Oh, this is gross. Oh, I'm going to throw up.
That was part of the thing, right? That was the draw.
Try hosting a cool party as a guy with a bad ratio, so to speak.
Sausage party.
With a sausage party. And when you develop a reputation for having attractive women at the parties you host, you become an important person to know in the network.
Oh my fucking God. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And Rogan's just hella mad. He started cross-referencing that. He started just punching in like the scientists and public intellectuals, right? Who he's had on his show. And he's like, uh-oh, this isn't looking good for me. Oh no. Like if Epstein wouldn't have been caught, right? If somehow like he would have been walking around, post 2019, right? If he'd have been out there saying that COVID was a hoax or whatever, Rogan would have had his ass on the fucking show to talk about it. This is fucked up, dude. Don't run interfere. Like, why? You could just shut the fuck up, right? You could just shut the fuck up. You don't have to say any of this. Right? You don't have to say none of this. You could come out like some fucking milquetoast ass statement, be like, "Oh, it has come to my attention that some of the people involved in this were guests on my show. That's not great. I didn't know. I knew as little about this as you did before all these documents came out, and I will no longer be having these people on my show. And I apologize to my audience. Boom, you're done. Out. You're out of there. It doesn't matter. The chuds that watch your show that they don't care. They're fine. They just want you to lie to them about the next pandemic, Joe. But instead, you're like, I don't know, man. If you're a cool guy and if you don't have women at your party, well, I would suggest to you if there's no women at your party, it's not that there's no eye candy there. That's the problem, really. It's that there's no women at your party, and why don't women want to go to your party? Right? Like it's like I'm to some extent I'm not doing it as much, maybe 2 or 3 events a year or whatever. But I'm a nightclub promoter and I throw raves, and yeah, we want women there, you want girls there. But the reason you want the women, especially at like an event where there's dance music, is because the women, girls, whoever is going to be the first on the dance floor. So they're going to get the party going, right? They're like less inhibited about dancing. Although like guys who are ravers are very not inhibited because they're on fucking hella molly. But that's not you don't have women to your party because it makes you popular. You have women to your party because you're having a party and about half the people in the fucking world are women. And so, yeah, you don't want a party that excludes women. What the fuck, dude? Now I want to see what's up with fucking Joe Rogan's guest list for his parties. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Nancy Mace she's not okay. Something's seriously wrong with this lady. She's something's like way wrong with her. She's gonna address the allegation that she's not okay here on what is this show is called? What is this called here? One of those, like, it's on like OAN or whatever. It's American Agenda Live. She's like, I'm okay.
An article was published earlier this week from New York Magazine. I know your team has already responded to it. It's titled, Nancy Mace is not okay, something's broken. Also, the motherboards fried were short-circuiting somewhere, which went as far as to describe your behavior as erratic. I also want to point out that you are running for governor of South Carolina, so more in the public eye than...
Oh, hell yeah. I hope she wins her primary, because she's a fucking crazy. She'll do something so stupid that the Republicans will just vote for the Democrat.
Your response to that?
In South Carolina, man, the Democrats need to, if she wins the primary, man, I hope the Democrat that wins is like the shittiest shitlib, centrist, fucking, possibly even moderately conservative, so that they fucking lose the governorship in South Carolina.
Well, for people who say that I'm not okay, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with Epstein co-conspirators walking free.
Oh, wait, watch this though. Watch this. She's gonna realize, she's gonna be like, well, whoopsie poopsie. Watch, I guarantee she's gonna be like, oops, oh, wait a minute.
I'm not okay with pedophiles in South Carolina getting 1 day in jail under the leadership of our attorney general. I'm not okay with murderers walking free. I'm not okay with the death or execution of young women like Logan Federico by a guy that had over 20 felonies under his belt. There are a lot of victims, both sexual assault victims, murder victims, victims of child predators, for example, that I've been working with in South Carolina and across the country. What's happening right now where people don't go to jail for the crimes they commit because of their power, their wealth, or
ma'am,
whomever they are, because the system is broken, none of us should be okay with that. And if I'm going to be attacked for standing up for those that don't have a voice, who can't stand on their own, then I'm going to be okay with that. And I say, bring it on to the mainstream media. And if they can't break me, they're just going to make it up. And I'm here for it. And nothing's going to stop me from being governor of South Carolina.
Congresswoman, last question. Do you think that President Trump should answer more questions about the Epstein files?
Well, I believe he already has. I mean, he's...
Oopsie poopsie. Yeah. That was on Newsmax. Oh, yeah, Newsmax. This is the last time you're going to see that lady in the white coat on Newsmax.
He went to the authorities. He's the one that banned Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago.
This story is bullshit. This story is bullshit because the fucking documents that were released demonstrate that that's not what happened.
He's been very open and very transparent, and I hope that he will support the efforts of the House Oversight Committee to get to the bottom of this. And I want to see people named. I want predators named. I want them investigated, and I want them to go to jail.
Even if they are some of the
even if they are some of the most, oh God, fuck no, fucking Jesus Christ. Oh, somebody in chat is saying Nancy's woke now. I think she's got her eyes held open like Clockwork Orange. So we're gonna move on here. This is everybody. We're gonna get the Trump account. We got Trump accounts. I don't know what the fuck a Trump account is, but Visa is gonna do a Trump account, I guess. Everybody, are you ready? Are you ready for the Trump account? You know how you get cash back on your Visa card? Well, they're gonna put it in a Trump account. TrumpAccounts.gov. This is so stupid. This is so embarrassing.
I'm officially calling on all employers all across America to follow the lead of many of these amazing companies and make matching Trump account contributions to benefit for the American worker, and they're going to benefit the American worker so much. This morning, I'm also pleased to announce that Visa is creating a brand new platform which will allow credit card holders to deposit their cashback rewards directly into Trump accounts.
Anybody here, your cash back on your credit card? Anybody here, anybody here, you do the cash back on you don't get shit, man. The best offer out there is PayPal. You get like 5% back on your groceries.
It's a big deal. Visa. Thank you. Where's Visa? The head of Visa. Thank you very much, Visa. These initiatives could not come at a better moment because there's never been a better time to invest in the United States of America than right now. Who knew it would have happened this fast? I inherited a mess. We were a country that was laughed at a year and a half ago.
Yeah, nobody's making fun of America now.
Laughed at. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Nobody even close. So, who knew this was going to take place this quickly?
Trump account. They're like, don't worry, we're going to give you a Trump account. You know that $8 you got cash back the last fucking quarter from your Visa? We're going to put it in the Trump account. You're going to earn. Actually, I'm going to take $1 of it. Fuck you. I'm the president. These Trump accounts, I don't know. I have no reason to I have no evidence of this, but I think whatever this Trump account is just going to be like, you're going to put money in this account and then Donald Trump's going to take it. Right? I think that's what this is going to be. I think it's Trump's account. We're going to put it in Donald Trump's account. So I don't know if you know this, but the press conference that Melania Trump held, it was not to promote her movie, even though it was like totally about her movie, but it's not there to promote her movie. Everybody, don't worry. Wonderful websites we got here. I fucking love doing a live show where I have to rely on social media for my videos. The best part. Right, whatever. Here is the First Lady talking about her movie that she's not talking about or promoting at all here.
Why do you feel it is appropriate to use an official White House event to promote your documentary?
This is not promotion. We are here celebrating the release of the hostages.
Oh. Well, that's enough. This is not promotion. We're here celebrating the release of the hostages, folks. Looks like anyway, whatever. Up next we got this is more about Melania's movie. This is Kayleigh McEnany. This is like a please clap, but it's like an everyone clapped moment. Check it out.
It soared past expectations, bringing in more than $7 million at the box office in its opening weekend. Now, that is the most of any non-concert documentary in a decade.
Oh, non-concert. Yeah, because they were at first they were saying it's of any documentary in a decade, and I'm like, Taylor Swift put out a documentary that probably did more money, did more than this before the fucking first frame of it ever rolled.
Now, legacy film reviewers were so certain that it wouldn't do well. Well, they would be wrong. Emily, my mom went to this weekend in Florida. She said not only was the theater packed, it was, standing room only if you could try to sneak in the back of the theater. People were cheering through it. They were excited. It was interactive. People with the film. She said it was just electric. Electric. And
this is some hipster coffee shop bullshit. Like $7 million, I don't know, I wouldn't make $7 million on a film that I just put out, but that's not great when you're like half the country loves me. Nah, dude. Like fucking 5% of the country are fans of like a Marvel movie. Like, I don't give a fuck about Marvel movies. I don't know. Most of you probably don't either. This is bullshit. They spent, I don't know how much fucking money on this thing and it made $7 million. Who fucking knows? Anyway, here's more of Crazy Eyes Bachman. This is her talking about how, Donald Trump is the most handsomest and in the best shape. The most handsomest in the best shape. Could you imagine thinking that about this? Like, you could like somebody. They don't have to be in, you don't have to fucking write fanfic about him. Check this out. This is weird.
They see Gavin Newsom as this big beauty, but I would say I'd put up Donald Trump against him any day. I mean, here you have Donald Trump, who's in his very late 70s. The guy is absolutely handsome, incredible.
I'm going to throw up.
Shape. He's married to the most beautiful woman in the world. And I'd put Donald Trump up against Gavin Newsom any day of the week. And Gavin wouldn't even be in the same league as Donald Trump. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Look at the fucking, even the Victory News guy's like, this guy's like, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like Gavin Newsom, but he's It's a certain kind of like Gordon Gekko style of handsome, I suppose. Like this is just the why would you just lower yourself in this way? Like again, you don't have to say anything. Why would you like lower yourself in this way? I mean, I know Michelle Bachmann's like a crazy person or whatever, and like you know, her husband's like a kind of overweight, obviously gay man. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's, she's got a type. I don't know. Maybe Trump reminds her of her husband or something. I don't think Trump's gay. But up next, we got GOP Representative Sessions on losing special elections in red districts. Like losing bad, actually. Here's what he has to say about it. It's like a rain dance or something.
Congressman Sessions, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, a conservative, no shrinking violet, said special elections are quirky and not necessarily projectable. That said, a swing of this magnitude is not something that can be dismissed. Republicans should be clear-eyed about the political environment heading into the midterms. Why did this happen? What does it tell you?
Well, John, first of all, the success of a rain dance has a lot to do with timing. And what happened is there was a huge...
Rain dances don't work. I think he's trying to say that, like, if you do your rain dance right before it rains, well, this is not a rain dance. These are elections.
Storm, really, that hit North Texas and Central Texas. But let's go back to Governor DeSantis.
What, are fucking conservatives afraid to go out in the snow? Are you trying to tell me that a bunch of libs in their fucking Priuses were able to navigate a snowstorm, but the guy that bought a truck, just a lifted truck, just to do fucking vertical videos, calling me the F slur from, can't get his truck out to the fucking polls?
At this point, special elections are special, and what happened is there was, as I understand it, one Democrat and two Republicans that were running against each other, and it was a battle between the two Republicans. And a group of people simply decided they were not going to come participate because this Democrat received more than 50% of the vote.
So the Republicans split the vote, and that's why the Democrat won. But also the Democrat got at least 50% plus one, which would mean that when you combine the other candidates together, the Democrats still won 57% of the vote. Even in like a pretty solidly blue district, 50% is like a lot. It's like a big margin of victory.
So it is listening to the music and waking up and finding out we need to be better. We need to understand what we're doing. But
we need to get that guy in his lifted truck some fucking snow tires, because that lady across the street with the blue hair in her Prius just put on some chains and went to the oh shit, she took the bus? Got to get all the fucking Republicans a bus pass.
This was a miscalculation by the people on the ground. And I don't know any of them, but what I will say is you should not lose any election in North Texas like this.
Whoopsie poopsie. Again, this wasn't a squeaker, dude. Fucking 57%. I think the district was Trump plus 13. So it swung almost exactly plus 13 the other way. That's insane. But it was just because it was snowing, and fucking, I guess only Democrats know how to navigate the snow. Who'd have thunk it? So up next, I usually like drunk old queens. Like they're usually pretty cool. Like you go to the gay bar or whatever, and there's like some, kind of tired old queen at the bar. Well, had a little too much to drink and telling some stories about like ye oldie times or whatever it is. Maybe he's just like just a bit of a mess. And I usually like drunk old queens, but I don't like this one.
Democrats say they're going to push for it.
Well, what we're going to do is, I'm not going to agree. That would grind it to a halt. If you had a judicial warrant and all these things, you couldn't deal with mass. We're not dealing with we're trying to get people out of the country of no right to be here, Judge. Have people who are illegal immigrants. You remember Kim Davis?
I do.
Who's Kim Davis, folks? Nothing to do with illegal immigration. Kim Davis was a clerk of court in Kentucky. The Supreme Court ruled that the law of the land was that gay marriage was legal, that gay marriage was recognized under the U.S. Constitution. If you didn't recognize gay marriage, you violated the Equal Protection Clause. She's a religious conservative. People applied, two gay guys applied for a marriage license. She said she wouldn't issue it. even though it was the law of the land. She went to jail. I was asked, what about it? Well, I agree with her political, philosophical, not a...
My fucking God, dude.
Religious views, but she's a public official. She has to do this. You can't change the law because you disagree with it. She went to jail. She should have. I think it's a defining moment in his presidency. Ronald Reagan went to the Berlin Wall and he said, tear down this wall. He didn't say, could you make it lower?
Okay.
Biggest thing you could possibly ever do to the Mideast is take this regime down, and they're as weakest they've ever been since 19...
He's all over the place, too.
Mr. President, you can do it. I hope you will do it. And if you do it, this is Reagan plus.
Okay.
Somebody put a little too much fucking alcohol in this guy's Frangelica or whatever the fuck he was drinking. Jesus Christ, dude. Yo. I mean, it's fine, man. Fucking you do your thing. You day drink all you want. You fucking tired old queen. You get him. You sit it. You hold down that bar stool. But that was crazy. He was all over the fucking place. Anyway, up next, did you know that the power went out in Nashville? Not because there was like a storm that like is, the power grid should be able to withstand a storm, but like sometimes shit happens and fucking, natural disasters do take out infrastructure, but it wasn't actually because there was a storm. It was the power company. They were like hiring women and black people and shit.
To your point, it's bad leadership. The head of the Nashville Electric System, NES, prioritized DEI initiatives over making sure that the power functioned and making sure that the power would not go out in an ice storm, and if it did, that they could restore power within a quick amount of time. And unfortunately, that's not the case. People in Nashville have been without power now for 8 to 9 days, and in this day of time, that's unconscionable.
It's just insane.
So I have a feeling that like the state of Tennessee just doesn't invest in infrastructure the way they should. 8 or 9 days without power, it is horrible. I feel bad for those people, right? I'm not like, ha ha. Like there are some shitlibs on Blue Sky. But then again, this is like Nashville. It's like a blue dot in the middle of like red ass Tennessee. But it's not because they hired black people, dude. It was just like, it doesn't snow like that. It doesn't get like that in Tennessee. So the power grid failed. That's the way it is. You can't possibly have your infrastructure set up so that it would withstand any possible contingency, because then you would just be spending, I know that sounds weird, but this would be America spending money on infrastructure and not like bombs and cops. And you can't do that. So up next, the voting machines are rigged, and about half a dozen or so people in the Congress actually shouldn't even be there because the voting machines were rigged and got them elected.
And then, of course, President Trump wants same-day voting, mail ballots, get rid of these voting machines. There's a half a dozen people, whether it's the House or Senate, Larry, that are up here as we speak, that did not get elected. It was all bogus because we've seen the evidence, and if we don't straighten that out, you're going to see a lot more of it this fall, and it's just going to get worse and worse with the American people saying, listen, we got all y'all up there and you don't do anything to straighten it out. We want closed borders and we want fair elections. Those two things they are demanding, and as Republicans, we had better to listen to them and do that, or we're going to lose next fall.
A lot of states, don't even have an ID picture. And by the way, I vote in the state of Connecticut. You don't need an ID. You don't need a picture. You could show them a credit card, Senator. Anybody can get a credit card, any kind of credit card. You could show them a debit card, and that's sufficient. Many states let driver's licenses. Well, anybody can get a driver's license. Some states are allowing illegals to get driver's licenses for commercial purposes. So the SAVE Act would eliminate that stuff. It's very important, but you got to make the case. I don't hear many people making the case. And
So voter ID, now you can't even use your driver's license for it. They're just trying to like not let people vote, right? They're just trying to make it so you can't vote. Here in California, because we do mail-in ballots, here's what happens. I know because I slacked off on registering to vote, and I had to file provisional in person during the special election. But I fucking re-registered like online, and they verify your identity at the point of registration and send you a ballot. So if they want to do like voter ID or whatever, like that's fine. But then, okay, they're mailing me the ballot. I mail it back. How do I voter ID that? Do I put my thumbprint on the ballot? Well, that's weird. Do I just send my fucking driver's license or California ID in with the ballot? There's nothing's going to fucking make these people happy, right? What they want to do is stop you and me from voting. And the reason they want to stop you and me from voting, I think, might have something to do with, maybe not directly, but this guy who is just so good at this job. Check this, watch this. I saw this and I was like, man, this guy, if this guy was born in the USA, you might be looking at the president in 2032. Check this out.
We will also work to welcome more family and home-based childcare providers into our programs. That's how I felt when we came up with this plan. For too long, these providers have been cut off from participating. Together, we will expand the idea of what is possible in our city and what sounds and noises we can make at a press conference. That expansion begins in a real, tangible way today with the launch of our RFI and expansion survey.
Fucking love that clip, dude. Those kids, he's going with it. Like, here's one more from that same fucking press conference. This guy is so good at this. And I think he's just good at this because he's like, he's a politician or whatever. Like, we're not gonna like stan him and fucking make Mom Donnie hats and shit. But he's good at this, and I think he's good at this because he's like a nice guy. Or somebody in chat said he's normal, but yeah, he's like totally a normie. Like they're trying to paint him as something he's not. But yeah, he's like a nice guy, and like he seems to like other people. Anyway, here's more from this press conference. Amazing.
My favorite aquarium animal is a shark.
Is a shark.
That's honestly such a good one.
Yes.
Animal is a goat.
Oh, and a goat.
Oh, fuck yeah! That little girl, she's gonna fucking inherit this fucking low rent podcast network when she grows up.
Thank you all for your answers.
And my favorite one is a gold snake that can move and it has gold eyes and it has a long tail, a super duper tail, and it can snap cars and crash the cars, and those two cars can get
That's a golden snake with gold eyes with super long can crash cars and crash into them.
Yeah, and they get fired.
Thank you for your answers.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mondani,
yes.
The second question for you.
Yes, it's also the golden snake.
Fucking great. Like this show's all like doom and gloom, and every once in a while though, and I think we're going to see more and more of this from Zoran as he gets more and more comfortable essentially with his job as the mayor. So we're gonna go the other way here. We're gonna go the other way with a politician. The exact opposite of Zoran Mamdani is Vince the ShamWow, or possibly better known on the internet as the "You're Gonna Love My Nuts" guy. Here's his first campaign commercial.
Hey, it's Vince. I'm running for Congress against this guy. Stop having a politician that's worse than Biden. That's discretionary funding. Instead, vote for me, a guy who's not half dead. I'm gonna soak up the swamp, clean the house, and pick up those liberal tears at the same time. I'm gonna slap chop the nuts out of the woke, making less blue-haired commies and more red-blooded Americans. Vote for me so I can represent you and the ones that can't stand up for themselves.
Vote for ShamWow!
Paid for by offer Vince ShamWow Shlomi for Congress.
Oh my fucking God. Fun fact, that guy used to be a Scientologist. Anyway, up next, here's one. This is interesting. We're going to file this under this can't possibly be legal. This is tweet here says 100 million Americans don't have a primary care doctor, so we built Lotus, the first AI doctor powered by real doctors. Oh no. They've raised $41 million, probably a lot of it from Peter Thiel going, I don't know, can you get fucking teenagers to send your blood? So this can't be legal, right? This has to probably violate all sorts of state, federal, and local laws.
Leading investors just bet $41 million that Lotus will become the best AI doctor, powered by real doctors. Imagine the power of 1,000 doctors in your pocket, working to protect your health by constantly analyzing your health records, wearable data, and
oh no,
medical research. All
this can't fucking be legal.
Ready to diagnose, prescribe, and refer anytime for free. Sounds crazy, right? But let me show you. Hi, Lotus. I'm running low on one of my medications.
Hey, KJ. After checking your medication history, I see it's probably your 10 milligrams of lisinopril. Checking the FDA drug database for interactions now. Just a quick look at your latest labs. Finally cross-referencing the clinical guidelines. Okay, done. I'll loop in a doctor for final sign-off.
I just got the prescription. No appointment, no waiting, no bill. This is the future. We built this because there's a huge shortage of doctors, and the ones we do have are burning out fast. Lotus AI makes doctors 10 times more productive by cutting out unnecessary paperwork and insurance games. This eliminates the waste and traditional costs, enabling us to give every American free primary care. The current system has failed us all, so join our mission to rebuild healthcare for patients and doctors.
Yo, this is gonna get somebody killed. This thing's gonna kill somebody, right? Like, also, it's like scanning your medical records, and then it's free. I'm like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. If it's like, I know it's like a cliche or whatever, but if the product is free, you're the product. And in this case, your medical records are actually the product. That's why he's getting all this investment. It's because this thing, you're going to sign up for it. And I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to put your fucking medical history into it. I don't know how you're going to do it. I have no idea how this works. Maybe I don't know how you give it access to all that, but once you do, now it has access to all that, and so does this fucking company. And that's why they gave this guy $41 million, is because they think they're going to get access to all of your medical records. I feel like I'm like talking to people like they're stupid, or like to an imaginary person like they're stupid, but don't sign up for this at all, ever. Don't ever ask a large language model for any kind of medical information at all whatsoever, ever at all. Just don't do it. You may as well ask your neighbor. At least your neighbor fucking is sentient. Here's Dr. Oz going to talk about, I don't know. I think this is just called, that book, Live, Work, Work, Die. Well, in this case, it's just work, 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 die.
If we could get the average American, because they feel healthy, they're vital, they're strong, they have agency over their future, to start working a year earlier, right out of high school, or work a year later, not retire, or work better during their lifetime because they're healthy, it would generate about $3 trillion. $3 trillion to the U.S. economy. That would more than remove the debt. It would provide us unbelievable strength because the taxes on that $3 trillion would allow us to keep Medicare Part A solvent, to make a trust fund. It would allow us to make Social Security healthier, tremendous downstream benefits. But to do that, you actually have to invest in making sure people want to work the extra year.
So if I give you $20, I buy something for you for $20, and you buy something for me for $20, we've just added $40 to the economy. But nothing happened. And I mean, that's fine. Like, you gotta measure like economic activity somehow. So just like making people work an extra year, it probably has like other like downstream or like knock-on effects that like do bad things for the economy. Like, a young person might not be available to take that job, or there might be other reasons. There might be, I don't know. It probably isn't. It probably doesn't work the way that he's talking about. Anyway, here's another health visionary. This is RFK Jr., and he's going to lie to you about the HPV vaccine, Gardasil. He's going to tell you lies. He's going to say incorrect things about an effective vaccine.
Gardasil is probably the single worst
mass vaccine that we've ever seen. This vaccine targets millions of preteens and teens for whom the risk of dying from cervical cancer is zero. You know, nobody in their right mind would ever take this vaccine if they actually read the clinical literature. Death rates in the Gardasil trials were 37 times the death rates for cervical cancer. Children who take that vaccine, the Gardasil vaccine, are 37 times more likely to die from the vaccine than they are to die from cervical cancer.
I don't know where he's getting this information.
So the problem with Gardasil, like most vaccines, is it was never tested against a true placebo, an inert placebo. And CDC and HHS say, if you don't test it against a true placebo, it's not science. You have no way of gauging whether the...
This is, they keep saying this is easy. It's unethical to lie to someone and tell them that you vaccinated them.
Injuries you're seeing from the product are being caused by that product, or whether they're just bad, sad coincidences. The entity that is actually performing the study and paying for the study is Merck. So Merck got to decide which injuries were being caused by Gardasil and which were just bad coincidences. And because it had that power, it just wrote them all off as bad coincidences. You can do that.
Well, what were the injuries? If it was like I fucking fell down the stairs.
When there's no placebo. Because the injuries they were seeing in the control group, where the girls were getting aluminum neurotoxins, were identical to the injuries they were getting in the Gardasil group. So they said, well, we don't have to report any of these as vaccine injuries. So they were able to license something that is insanely dangerous.
So the problem here is that, like, when they do this, and this is like if people want to debate me about stuff and whatever, and they're like, I read a study, and I'm like, I'm not coming to a debate and like just going to do dueling studies that neither of us understand. He is certainly, like, he may or may not be referring to actual studies, but it's so vague what he's talking about that it would be hard to track down like the literature that he says, oh, you have to read the literature. Well, in this case, he's probably like misrepresenting. Let's be a little more generous, vaguely referring to more than one study that you would have to do. Then now the onus would be on you to find the study. And then if you can't find the study, maybe it doesn't exist. He goes, you don't even know how to go look for a study. It was all bullshit. Anyway, here we go. He's going to lie to you about the keto diet. This is wild. I couldn't fucking believe this. When people were saying he said this, I was like, no, he didn't.
Dr. Pollan up at Harvard has cured schizophrenia using keto diets. There are studies right now that I saw 2 days ago where people lose their bipolar diagnosis by changing their diet. It's not only affecting our physical health, it's affecting our mental health as well. And we're asking people now, eat real food, right? Eat protein.
The keto diet isn't even a high protein diet. But, dude, it did not cure schizophrenia. Schizophrenia isn't really it's like a way that your brain is, right? It's not a thing that gets cured. It's like a way that your brain is. Oh no. Bad. This is so fucked up. Friends, I don't know if the United States is going to make it. Here we go. Here we go. Here's Trump and RFK Jr. They're at a press conference, and autism comes up, and I guess they're gonna do the autism. I don't know what that means, but
and the autism that's moving along, really, is that?
We've commissioned now dozens of studies, maybe over 100, and we are going to get those done for you.
Good. That's so important.
So, are we going to do the autism, everybody? I don't know if we're going to do the autism. Are we going to do the autism? Who knows? We're going to do the autism. So I'm hearing something in chat from an obvious expert on MMR vaccines. If you want to, I actually don't know anything about the 2005 MMR vaccine or whatever, but The government's going to do studies and they're going to cure you of your autism, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll just put you in a camp if you are autistic. Who fucking knows? They'll solve it one way or another, though. Anyway, up next, we're getting close to red light here, folks. We got we got four more regular podcast stories. Like this is like the normal news. It's just the news now, everybody. We got 4 more of these before we go into red light. And I got to ask, what is going on here with Tiny Dancer Ben Shapiro? I'm trying to figure out. It seems like something's wrong with this guy. I mean, more than usual.
Did I hear that Candace said on her show she had dreams about playing Hogwarts chess with you? That's the okay now. All right. Well, you know, that's weird. It's a little bit weird. I mean, I guess that's pronounced what-eared or what-eared. Wait.
What-eared? No, that's not how it's pronounced. It's not pronounced what-eared. What is he talking about? What happened to Ben Shapiro?
Should I pronounce? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should have a discussion about the temperature at which ice freezes. Or maybe we can talk about various German terms and their proper pronunciation, like Blitzkrieg. I will freely admit that I did make a few jokes around the office about other Nazi breakfast foods besides Blitzkriegs, which may include Luftwaffles.
What?
Candace also interviewed Bassem Youssef and told him she thinks something bad happened in your childhood because you fixate and lack empathy. Man, so much projection. Oh my goodness. What? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Whatever, man. Whatever.
I think Ben might have started smoking weed or something. He seems stoned to me. Am I wrong? Like somebody mentioned alcohol or whatever. Yeah, somebody in chat's asking, is that it's a deep fake? I think he's high. He seems high because he's all like he just seems high. Edibles? Is he doing edibles? Man, imagine eating like an edible and then being stuck talking to Ben Shapiro. My fucking God. Meanwhile, here's his friend Candace Owens. Oh God. If she ever had the plot, she has certainly lost the fucking plot. Check this out. There's just 30 seconds. My fucking God.
Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. That's why that sentence caught my attention in the article. He spoke about the street lamps that would go off when he would run, about the special school that he had to go to. He spoke about a lot of the things that were strange in our childhood, the testing that both of us had to endure. We spoke about the fact that we could both astral project. You know all of this, of course. You have his phone. And how surprised we were when we learned that not everybody does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, you name it. We had conversations about it.
She astral projects. Not everybody does that. Yeah, Candace, you're right. Not everybody is an astronaut. Oh, wait, that's not what astral projection is. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think it was AI. we got 2 more. This is just this grifter be grifting. Grifter be grifting.
It'll be a sign for you to know that Charlie's with you in something. When we first started dating, we were walking to dinner one night, and this happened a lot. The lights would start to flicker. And he'd look up at the light and be like, it's so weird. This happens to me a lot. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. So our whole dating and whole marriage, anytime we'd be in a room and a light started to flicker, he would just look at me and wink. It was like our little thing.
It's power.
It's a total frequency thing. And so the night everything happened when we were in Utah, I was in a hotel room by myself, in the bedroom portion by myself. And the bathroom light was on, and it just was a strobe light all night.
Was this after you had kids? Maybe the kids are just flipping the light switch up and down?
Part of me couldn't sleep because it was a strobe light. The other part of me couldn't sleep because of how just my world has just crumbled. And the other part of me couldn't sleep because I was like, baby, I feel you. I know you're here. Mm-hmm.
They've got fucking, look at, I didn't even watch this. Look, they got tissues. They got just in case everybody's going to cry. They got fucking tissues on the stage. Oh my fucking God, dude. This is the worst fucking timeline, everybody. This is the fucking cursed fucking timeline. We got one more. We're going to end with something really funny. We're going to end with something really funny. Everybody, did you know that I don't have a lot of time to read a lot of books, but that's okay, because the reason that I'm not reading a lot of books is that my brain is too fucking powerful for books. You know, like this guy.
Reading books is a very cheap way to, I guess, entertain. I wouldn't call it entertainment because my brain is far too advanced. I'm too smart to read.
Cheap? Have you tried to buy like a hardback of a new book lately?
I'm not going to sit there and go, smart people read. No. I need action. I need constant chaos in my life to feel content. I need to be driving a supercar and fucking fighting, fucking a bunch of hoes and champagne and going crazy. I can't just sit there, and the pirate on the boat. Like, just
when the pirate on the, what book are you reading? Nan and Jan ran. Dude, I don't know if this guy knows this, but people who read books could also fuck. It is possible to read a book and then have sex. This is wild. Some wild shit for us to talk about. This guy, I don't know, is this guy like a lol cow now? Does he know what he's doing? Is he doing all this like to get attention? Because there's no way you just say this. Also, like, oops, wrong thing. Hold on. Why is there a vault? You see this? It looks like there's a vault here. I bet that's just his door though. Or maybe that's where he keeps all the pussy. I don't know. Anyway, that's the show. That's the fucking podcast part of the show. If you're listening on the podcast, like on Spotify or wherever the fuck you listen to your podcast, come check us out live. We're live a few nights a week. Right now it's Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday, and some Saturdays. I think we're going to actually bring back Cults in the Satanic Panic on Thursdays as well. But check us out. That's twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. And if you're on the podcast and you listen every week and you don't show up live, I don't know, you can help me monetize. Go to eplex.store or patreon.com/Echoplex. Sign up at the $5 level, and you'll get the entire show for this and Down Ballot sent to you the next day, including Red Light. I would say the next morning, but that's a lie. It's the next afternoon, possibly the next evening. And if you're watching live, you know the drill. Stick around. I'm going to change the contents of my beverage and the color of the lights in the room, and we're going to go into Red Light. This is Boomers by Periscope.